Welcome back, everyone. We have some major changes going on with the ultracruiser rebuild. I got a whole bunch of paint off of it. I've started cleaning up some surfaces just to see how beat up it actually is underneath, and an awful lot of the spots that I thought were corroded. I can't really say even corroded, but oxidized enough to need replacement. The material has cleaned up. An awful lot of the oxide layer is gone, and it still mics out okay. Well within a reasonable tolerance to its original roll procedure to set its thickness. So yeah, we've made some crazy changes here. Got a lot of paint off. This is the second pile like this, and I still have a little bit more on the bottom and some edges to get done. Here's the biggest change. We have a rudder, which is pretty cool. We have a rudder connected to a tail wheel, which is really cool. I have not put my pivot bolt in this, but I do have movable functional elevators that are all riveted in place, and I think they turned out very nice. They're extremely flush. I like the way that the hinges and everything came out. No, this may not be perfect to plan, but I like it, and in my opinion it's stronger. So looks like I got some polishing compound laying around in places it probably shouldn't have ended up, but yeah, it's going really well. My prop is on the way from ultra prop. I went with a ultra prop again because I want to run the reduction this way. The original plane came to me with this flipped upside down, so my prop was way up here, which puts my center of thrust much higher than where it should be on the airframe in general. This is not perfect. It is a little bit lower than where the half VW is, but it's a lot closer this way. But being just slightly lower, I basically max out at a 50-inch prop. So I have a 50-inch four-bladed Ultra Prop 2 coming with some pitch blocks and whatnot to make this little thing run. It has run. I did run it previously. Obviously, it's a little ugly, but yeah, I have my fuel tank. Obviously, not that fuel tank. The aluminum fuel tank at work. I'm working on that, getting that welded up. It is a little thin, but nothing a little patience can't beat. So the underside of the airframe, obviously, not great for lighting, but there's still some paint. There's still a little bit of dirt and whatnot to get off. I have my hydraulic brake lines done. There's some polishing compound on that, but that's routed up through the wing. It's not affixed anywhere yet. We'll be finishing that up at some point. My control stick assembly came in. This is just a sleeve right now. I'm going to recut the block down there and take out the aluminum piece altogether and just have a carbon fiber stick, because the carbon fiber stick fits my brake master perfectly. And of course, the fill cap sits upwards and the output is downwards, and the bleed points are in the right places. And I think that will work out the way I want. It's actually a pull type caliper, too. It's not a compression caliper, which I think is just cool. There's really no reason to even mention it, but I think it's really cool. So this will be my braking setup. I'm working on a way to do a pin lock parking brake in the side of this with a little bracket that I want to whip up in the mill, but that may not happen. I might just use a Velcro strap or a bungee cord or something around it to quote unquote put it in park. So if anybody's got any suggestions on how to do cutting raw aluminum to a relatively shiny surface. That's what I have right now, but it seems I need something with straight up boulders in it instead of 1500 grit. So at this point, I'm super happy with the project. Of course, I still have wings to strip more paint on and all that good jazz. Got to get some leaves out of the inside of the wings from where it was stored before. So these are too tall to stand up on end in my garage. I'll probably have to take them to work, stand them up on end, and clean them up. There are some edge pieces I'd like to at least unbend, probably replace. And I would expect I'll probably replace the ailerons as an assembly. Um, mm, we'll see. We'll see how deep I want to get on that problem. But a big thank you to Hummel. This is much farther than I ever thought I'd be on this project. They stepped up. They really did. Um, really did help me, though I was family. In a situation that arose, and I really appreciate it. They are truly there to help if anybody else wants to try one of these awesome projects. I do have my tank cover and my instrument panel cover, and actually an instrument panel, ironically enough, which I probably won't use the aluminum instrument panel. I'll probably use something that I print or some carbon fiber. This particular airframe has a squared off bulkhead here. I will likely try to change that because I don't prefer it. It appears that it was originally rounded anyways. Um, it's just kind of odd, but it's like there's a secondary bulkhead put on it right up here. Yes, there's some corrosion in this, but this was the only piece that was truly exposed. With where it was sitting, there was no tarp. There was nothing covering up this piece. So I might back this off, get to this bulkhead, and then use this bulkhead um, as the exterior support because it looks closer to the plans. It looks correct. I don't know why this is on here to square out. Maybe somebody was going for an AT6 kind of look, or maybe they just wanted to change something. But this one appears correct to plans, though I think this flange is a little wider than it should be. And that one, minus a whole bunch of added lightness, that one looks to plans as well. That one needs some trimming and whatnot around. I believe I'm down to a rudder pedal assembly, a turtle deck, and a hoop. And that's the last parts that I need. Hard parts, anyways, from Hummel. Then I'll be down to making some either control rods or control cables. Haven't decided on that yet. Haven't weighed either setup yet. I have some rod floating around here on the floor that was in it, but the person that built it put the rods inverted, so the rudder was on the right side instead of the left side, and the aileron was on or the elevator, I should say, was on the left side, not the right side, so it wasn't quite set up the way that it should have been. I'm getting quite excited. This is becoming quite a project. I'm extremely excited. I'm really happy to see other people like Dennis Brooks um, out flying and having a good time with theirs. I really hope that I can get this one out and flying. Of course, I still have the glorious old question of weight, which I acquired a little crane scale. So once I have the situation where I can do it, I will be weighing this with as many of the parts as I have available on it to define exactly what the weight is, where it needs to go, or if it's good enough for now. I would expect with a very lightweight engine, I will be very close, hopefully under. If I'm over with a very light engine, we might have to dig into it pretty deep to figure out where all the weight is. I know that there's some added lightness that could be put in a number of different places, especially with features like dimple dyeing and stuff like that to retain strength and lose material. I'm not opposed to that. I just haven't quite decided that I want to do it manually yet in situ. These would all be in situ getting holes punched in them and getting nibble dyed to remove, um, retain strength and remove material. So actually, two bulkheads left. F, E2, and E are all new from Hummel, so those are all full-on added lightness situations. I did not do anything with the rear spar. I did not do anything with the rudder vertical or the rudder. This is exactly how it was sent to me for weight, so I have some room for improvement there, probably less than a pound. I would hope it's close to a pound, but probably less than a pound. So I do have a few other little things, some gussets and some odds and ends to tack on. Some little, inspection covers or bolt covers and things like that. I have a small mountain of rivets left over. I need to get the turtle deck on it. A bunch of rivets appear to have been replaced at some point, and they're slightly bigger than the AVEX rivets that are supposed to be in this, for a large number of rivets. So you can kind of see like this, a little one and a big one. Why the big ones are here, I'll probably never know, but a bunch of them in the fuselage will get punched and redone, or drilled out, I probably should say, but we'll redo a bunch of them. They're a little bit bigger. I'm sure there's minimal to no weight to be found there, but some things like this too, where that rivet isn't actually tight. I have probably 75 of these marked, to replace throughout, but hopefully I'll hit them in the process of replacing all these big rivets for little ones. Yeah, so that's where we're at right now. It's been a good time so far. I've had a great time, and I hope that a few of you will eventually get one of your own, or take notes and don't do it my way, whatever the case may be. But thanks to everyone that watches, and hope you guys have a good evening.